afternoon and welcome. Glad you could join us today. So let's get this show on the road talking about My Mac Can Do That, Part 2 on Go for Lunch for April 22nd, 2025. Brought to you by GoFor Technology. I am Roger Harmon, your host, and here, as always, to make your technology work for you. And as Denny and Bob already pointed out, it's Earth Day. So let's take good care of our planet Earth. It's the only planet we have. So we're going to continue. We did this a couple weeks ago about tips and tricks that are built into your Mac operating system. Or sort of. This first one is the sort of, actually. So you can create a floating YouTube window. So if you're watching a YouTube video but you'd like to get some other work done, you can put that YouTube video in a window on your desktop by right-clicking on the video. And then you would select Picture in Picture. That's a double right-click on your video. Of course, you have to have right-click configured in your settings. So if you don't have that, and you need help with that, let me know. So normally the video will stick to one of the four corners no matter where you put it. However, you can also resize it to some extent, and if you want to put it anywhere in the window, you hold down the Command key and then place it where you want it. So let's see how that works. So we're going to go into our Finder, and since it's a little messy there, we're going to hide others. So now we have a clean bill of health. So we're going to go back into Safari, and look, we have a video right here. We'll hit play just so you know that's the video, all right. So we're going to stop that so we don't have to talk over the music. So on my mouse, I'm going to double right click, and you can see if you do a single right click, you get one menu, but if you do a double right click, you get this menu, and you slide down to the third thing here, and you left click on Picture in Picture. And there it is. So now if I put it up in this area, it'll automatically go to the upper right hand corner. If I put it over here, it goes to the upper left hand corner, and I've put it down there, it goes to the lower left hand corner. And then if I move my cursor onto the edge, then I can make it bigger. I can't make it any bigger than this. And so you see, if I put it in the middle, it still wants to go to a corner. However, if I hold down the Command key, then I can put it anywhere I want. Now, if I'm done with it, if I mouse over here in the upper left-hand corner, a circle appears with an X in it, and then I can get rid of it. Being a little persnicative there. So that's how that works. Okay. I get a lot of requests for people trying to send multiple pictures in an email, but they won't fit. So instead of having to send pictures one by one in a separate email, here's one way that you can compress photos to fit into a single email. So what you do is you select all your photos, and then you would right click and select Quick Actions. And then you would select Convert Images. Then the next step would be to select an image size. I would recommend using small or medium depending on how many pictures you have. Of course, you can put in more pictures if you select small. Then you would click on Convert. The next step is you would now have some copies of those photos in a smaller size. So you would select those, and then you would right click again, go back to Quick Actions, and then you would select Create a PDF. And once you have that PDF, then you would simply attach that to your email. So let's see how that works. So we're going to go back to our Finder, and we're going to hide others. So here we are in our Finder. We've got these 4 pictures that we want to send in our email. So we're going to do a Command A to select all. And then we're going to right click, go down here to the second item from the bottom and select Convert Image. And so we're going to convert those to JPEGs. So we're going to change the default actual size to small. And then we're going to click on Convert to JPEG. So now we have these much smaller sizes. So you can see here's one that was 2.1 megabytes. Now it's 25 kilobytes. So substantially smaller. So now, since these are already selected, we're going to sort them by size so we can get them into a group. So you can see here there are all these sizes are now in kilobits. So now we're going to do another right click, go back down to Quick Actions, and then we're going to create a PDF. So there's our PDF. So if we double click on that, it opens in preview. So you can see here we have our 4 pictures over here. And these, if you right click on them, you can export them as a JPEG again if you wanted. So then you could put them in your photos at the other end. So just cancel that. And of course you would attach this whole PDF to your email. So we create an email here. And we will close that. And then we can just, let's see if that'll work. No, we can't drag and drop it. We have to grab it here on our paperclip, go to our desktop, go to our test images, and now we can drag it into our email. And there it is. So that's how that works. So 2 weeks ago we talked about customizing windows. Now we're going to talk about customizing your actual folder icons. So you can choose different designs and different colors and personalize your Mac. And to do this you use a website called MacOSIcons.com. So let's go back to our Finder, and we're going to clean things up again by going to Finder and hide others. Okay, so now we want to go into Safari, and we're going to go up here to the menu bar and choose Window, and let's see, where did I put the, here we go. So here's Mac OS Icons. So I did a search within MacOSIcons.com for folders download. So as you can see, we have different kinds of designs for those folders. So then I have to go back to my Finder. I'm going to click on the Downloads folder here, and then I'm going to go up here to Downloads and hold down the Command key and go to the next higher level. So here's my Downloads folder. I'm going to right click on that and choose Get Info, which appears over here. Then I go back to my Mac OS icons, and I like this one here with the white arrow, stands out. So I simply drag that here to the Get Info window right here on top, and now you can see it's changed to the white arrow on the Downloads folder. So there's all sorts of different combinations you can find through here, and again, you can search for exactly what you want in the search window on the website. So we're going to close that window, and we're going to close this window with a Command W, and we're going to go back to Keynote. And you didn't see that, did you? Because I was on Keynote and not on the Finder. So we're going to try that again. So now we're on the Finder. And you see we have the website. So we need to go to Safari, and we're going to go to History, and we're going to go to the Mac OS icons, and then we're going to search for folders and download. So now we have all of our folders. So we use this one, so we'll change it to something different here. How about this one that just says down? So we go here to our Finder, we right click on the Downloads folder, choose Get Info, and then our Get Info window shows up over here, and we go back to Downloads, and then we just drag this down folder up. Oops, it's not dragging. Why isn't it not dragging? Let's try this one. There we go, that one's dragging. And up to the upper left hand corner, when you see the little plus, and you can see it changed it. So that's how that works. So you can also customize your Safari background by dragging and dropping an image onto the window. So let's go into Safari, and let's go to a window that would be appropriate, and let's see if we can find our, we'll just create a new window here, Command N. So here's our start page. You can see I do have a custom background here. And if I go to my Finder and I go to my test images folder here, and I'm going to grab this picture called Monsoon and drop it, and there you go. So now you can customize your Safari windows with any kind of image that you want to serve as the background. So you probably know that if you want to do a screenshot of a specific area, you hit Shift, Command, and 4, and then it appears in the lower right hand corner, but if you're not quick enough, it disappears and then you have to go find it. So here is a better way. You hit Control, Command, Shift, and 4, and that saves your screenshot to your clipboard. So you don't have to go chasing around your computer looking for it. It's just in your clipboard, and then you can go any other place on your computer that you want that screenshot and paste it. So let's see how that works. So we're going to go back to our Finder, and so what I'm doing here is I'm putting my little finger on the Shift key. No, I'm putting my little finger on the Command key, my next finger on the Shift key, my thumb on the, let me get this straight. Little finger on Control, next finger on Shift, thumb on Command, and I'm reaching up and hitting the 4. So now I release those. So now I've got the crosshairs. So I go to the upper left of what I want to capture, hold down my mouse, draw a rectangle around the area that I want to capture, and now it is in my clipboard. So now I'm going to go to Notes as an example, but this could be any application, and I'm going to do a left click and paste, and there's my screenshot. So a really handy way to do screenshots. So I know some of you, when you have a questionable website or a questionable email, you'll send me a screenshot, which is very beneficial. So now you have maybe a better way to do that. So that brings us to questions. And if you haven't already, type your questions and comments in the comments field on YouTube. And do me a favor and share the GoFor Gazette that comes to you every Monday morning about 7 o'clock with anybody you know that uses Apple devices. Speaking of using things, if Zoom is one of those things, it has been updated to 6.4.5. So make sure that you get that update done. So let's see what you have to say here. And let's see what the questions are. Chris is here. Hi, Chris. And Gretchen is here. So hopefully those are some things that you can use to make your life with your Mac a little more productive and more personalized. And a lot of these things Apple doesn't really publicize. You have to kind of dig in to find them. As always, if there's something that you'd like to learn more about, let me know. You can contact me by email or by telephone. That information will be coming up here shortly. And Chris has a question. Do they go away with system updates? Some things do go away with system updates, but I think the things that we talked about today should remain. But you never know. I've been working with several clients this week that have been having problems with Gmail that's tied into some system updates. So the system updates giveth, and the system updates taketh away sometimes. You never know. So please give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. and click the little bell so you will be notified when we go online. So I'll see you here next Tuesday at high noon for another Go for Lunch.